evening. This is Idowu Shekoni, and reading with me is
Jamila Eligbede. Good evening.
We're bringing you Newscope, our daily news program of in-depth reports, interviews, and commentaries. First, the highlights. Federal government signs deal to host 2027 Intra-African Trade Fair in Lagos.
Reps call for review of Benin Republic Togo degrees ban.
Governor Makinde calls for calm amidst PDP leadership crisis.
And flood kills 48 in Ethiopia.
Now the news in full. The federal government has signed the hosting agreement for the 5th Intra-African Trade Fair 2027, with Lagos selected as the official host city for the continental event aimed at boosting trade and investment across Africa. The agreement was signed on Tuesday in Lagos in partnership with the African Export-Import Bank, the African Union Commission, and the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. The event also marks Nigeria's formal takeover of the hosting baton from Algeria, which hosted the 4th edition of the fair that generated $49.94 billion in trade and investment deals. Scheduled to take place from the 5th of November to the 11th of November 2027, IATF 2027 is targeting $50 billion in trade and investment deals, 100,000 visitors, 2,500 exhibitors, and participation from more than 100 countries. The chairperson of the IATF 2027 Advisory Council and former President of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, described the hosting agreement as a milestone for both Nigeria and the African continent.
The House of Representatives has called on the federal government to commence the construction of the Benin-Lagos Railway Corridor as part of efforts to address the growing insecurity and traffic congestion along the busy highway linking the two cities. The resolution today followed the adoption of the motion moved at plenary by the member representing Ovia North East and Ovia Southwest Federal Constituency of Edo State, Omosede Benedion. The session was presided over by the Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas. Following its adoption, the House urged the federal government through the Ministry of Transportation and the Nigerian Railway Corporation to prioritize the development of the Benin-Lagos Railway Corridor under the National Transport Master Plan. The lawmakers also recommended that security components, including surveillance systems, railway police units, and secured terminals, be incorporated into the design and operation of the proposed railway infrastructure.
The federal government has launched a new initiative to connect schools across Nigeria to reliable internet services. It aims to expand digital learning and integrate modern technologies, including artificial intelligence, into the country's education system. The initiative follows a directive by President Bola Tinubu to accelerate the expansion of national digital infrastructure and ensure that key sectors, particularly education, benefit from ongoing broadband and telecommunications investments. To drive the plan, the Minister of Education, Maruf Alausa, and the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, met in Abuja with key stakeholders to coordinate efforts between both ministries on the nationwide school connectivity program. According to a statement signed by the Director, Press and Public Relations at the Ministry, Folashade Boriowo, today, the discussion centered on developing a framework to ensure internet access reaches institutions at all levels of the education system.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has asked the federal government to rescind in its blanket invalidation of degree certificates obtained from the republics of Benin and Togo. The Green Chamber made the decision following the consideration and approval of reports from its Committee on Public Petitions. The report reviewed concerns raised after the federal government announced a ban on recognizing university degrees from the two West African countries. The House urged the federal government to adopt a case-by-case verification mechanism to address confirmed instances of fraud rather than imposing a blanket sanction. It also recommended that the Federal Ministry of Education work closely with education authorities in Benin and Togo to strengthen verification frameworks, curb academic fraud, and authenticate foreign qualifications. The House further called on the federal government to ensure that its future policies align with Nigeria's bilateral, regional, and international treaty obligations.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has promised to work hand-in-hand with the 6 newly elected area council chairmen, stressing that political differences will not obstruct development in the capital. The minister made the promise today in Abuja when the council leaders visited his office to collect their certificates of return ahead of their June swearing-in. Wike described the cooperation he expects between his administration and the incoming council officials as a rainbow coalition. He emphasized that effective governance requires collaboration across party lines, noting that the FCT administration has always engaged stakeholders regardless of political affiliation. The minister also acknowledged that candidates aligned with President Bola Tinubu received government support during the elections, but assured that officials from other parties with shared goals will also play a role in the administration's plans.
The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, today said terrorists and bandits operating across Nigeria have suffered heavier losses than government troops. He gave the assurance that the armed forces are intensifying operations across various theaters. Speaking after a brief strategy meeting with service chiefs in Abuja, General Musa assured Nigerians that the military remains fully committed to restoring peace and security nationwide. He called on citizens to support security agencies by providing credible information and reporting suspicious activities. The minister thanked President Bola Tinubu, the National Assembly, and state governors for their continued support to the armed forces, expressing confidence that the country would ultimately overcome its security challenges.
Experts have said that the alleged 210 trillion naira corruption case involving the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) should not be allowed to die at the National Assembly, but should be thoroughly investigated by relevant anti-corruption agencies. Public affairs analyst Professor Babatunde Adegoke and finance expert Dr. Oyebade Oyedepo made this call while discussing NNPCL 210 trillion naira corruption investigation on BCOS TV Current Affairs Breakfast Program AM 120. Our reporter Olamide Wolabi, who monitored the program, has the details.
In 2025, the Senate issued an ultimatum to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to provide detailed explanations for financial discrepancies amounting to over 210 trillion naira in its audited financial statement from 2017 to 2023. Recently, the Senate Committee on Public Accounts also summoned the Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Mele Kyari, and his management team over the alleged discrepancies. Speaking on the issue during the AM 120 program, public affairs analyst Professor Babatunde Adegoke said the allegations did not come as a surprise, noting that corruption has not been associated with the operations of the National Oil Company. He argued that the discrepancies were unlikely to be the result of oversight, miscalculation, or error, but rather a deliberate act, stressing that the organization had often escaped accountability. Professor Adegoke added that as a corporate organization in which the government invests heavily, the NNPCL should have strong internal mechanisms to check its financial activities.
See, there's a problem. Now, one of the problems that we have is what even the president, by the executive power that came about just some few weeks back, was trying to take care of. You see, I think NNPC has been given such liberty to do whatever it wants with our collective money. And that's why they've been doing all that. So I think the issue here is, yes, the NNPC is a corporate organization, but even every corporate organization has some people that look at what they are doing. Do we have that in place? If we have it in place, are they not part of the corruption network? So that even when NNPCL has done something wrong, they just overlook it.
Also speaking on the program, a finance expert and public affairs analyst, Dr. Yebade Oyedepo, said they received the news with mixed feelings, as according to him, corruption in the country is not new, while the escape of the alleged discrepancy is alarming. He noted that the amount involved is more than 6 years of Nigeria's national budget, adding that such resources could have been channeled into critical sectors such as healthcare, infrastructure, and security for the benefit of citizens.
I can't say it was an oversight, and that's why I said, when the report came out in 2016, they didn't let us know what they did in form of investigation. It's only that they failed to avail us of it again. So they ought to have gone into it to establish it. And also, the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation have oversight functions. They review the records. So where there are anomalies, they are supposed to have brought it out.
Both analysts therefore called for the strengthening of anti-corruption agencies to enable them effectively carry out their responsibilities and ensure accountability in public institutions. Olamide Wolabi, BCOS News.
This broadcast of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Ibadan. Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde has described the current situation within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as a difficult moment for both the party and Nigeria's democracy, following the recent appeal court judgment on the party's leadership crisis. Governor Makinde made the remarks on Tuesday during the Turaki-led PDP BOT meeting, which was held in Abuja. While reacting to the court's ruling delivered on Monday, he stated that the political climate in the country is troubling, but expressed optimism that the situation would eventually improve. The governor stressed that despite the ongoing crisis within the opposition party, leaders must remain mindful of how their action during this period will be judged by history. He speaks further.
It's a challenging period for us. It's also a challenging period for democracy in Nigeria. I've been talking to people of knowledge, people who have been involved in the political evolution of this country, and none of them are seeing a political landscape that is close to what we are witnessing today. I can only say, on behalf of well, we are only two remaining, but we're not bothered. I can say personally, and on behalf of my chairman, that when the story of this period is told, and when the story of democracy in Nigeria is told, they will find us on the side of the people. So please, I can only say that this period will also go away, it will pass away. So whatever role we want to play as individuals and collectively as a party, we must be conscious of what history is going to record against or for us for this period.
Meanwhile, the Board of Trustees BOT of the People's Democratic Party PDP is in the second day of an emergency meeting convened to deliberate on the party's future following Monday's Court of Appeal judgment.
The wife of the Oluyole State Governor, Mrs. Tamuno Makinde, has inaugurated a newly renovated marriage registry and multi-purpose hall named after her in Egbeda local government area of the state. BCOS reporter Gbemisola Adebayo reports that the colorful event attracted top politicians, traditional rulers and supporters of the People's Democratic Party.
It was a moment of celebration and excitement in Egbeda local government area as dignitaries, community leaders and residents gathered to witness the inauguration of the newly renovated Tamuno Makinde marriage registry and multipurpose hall. The project, named after the wife of the Oyo State Governor, Mrs. Tamuno Makinde, was officially unveiled at Miss Pomp and Pageantry, symbolizing the appreciation and recognition she enjoys within the community. The event attracted the presence of top government officials, political leaders, royal fathers, and loyal members of the People's Democratic Party who described the renovation of the facility as a positive step towards enhancing social activities and community engagement in the local government area. In her remarks, Mrs. Tamuno Makinde said the marriage registry would serve as a befitting venue for couples intending to formalize their unions, stressing that marriage remains a vital institution that strengthens families and society at large. She explained that the newly renovated registry would provide a standard, comfortable and dignified environment where couples can celebrate one of the most important milestones in their lives.
It is my prayer that God will bless and affirm all the marriages that will be held in this building. And they will stand the test of time and never break down. Furthermore, I thank the chairman of the Egbeda local government once again for providing a 1-year prepaid health insurance plan for the elderly people in Egbeda local government.
Speaking earlier, the chairman of Egbeda local government, Mr. Sikiru Soda, said the transformation of the facility was made possible through the enabling environment created by the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde. He commended the First Lady for her continued support towards initiatives that promote development at the grassroots level, noting that the upgraded hall would serve multi-purposes for residents of the area.
Your presence here today is a profound encouragement, not just to me personally, but to the entire people of this local government. Your unwavering commitment to grassroots development, women empowerment, and social welfare remain a beacon of hope across the state, and we are proud to be among the beneficiaries of your goodwill and leadership.
Some stakeholders at the event also applauded the initiative, emphasizing that such projects will promote unity, strengthen social relationships, and provide a conducive space for community gatherings. Gbemisola Adebayo, BCOS News.
The Oyo State Civil Service Commission has set aside tomorrow, Thursday, 12th March 2026, for an interactive session with directors of administration and supplies, as well as directors of personnel in all ministries, departments and agencies. According to the release signed by the Chairman, State Civil Service Commission, Alhaji Kamaldeen Aderibibe, the session will come up at the new local government building, Secretariat Ibadan. According to the Chairman, the interactive session, which is aimed at discussing and clarifying relevant guidelines to ensure adequate preparation for error-free 2025 promotion exercise, will hold from 10 a.m. He urged all participants to attend punctually and participate actively to ensure that all stakeholders are on the same page.
The Oluyole State Commissioner of Police has ordered a thorough investigation to allegations of unprofessional conduct by operatives of the Jubilee Police Division. The directive followed a protest reportedly witnessed on Tuesday over the conduct of some officers attached to the division. According to a statement from the State Police Command, the Assistant Superintendent of Police who led the patrol team involved and the divisional police officer have been issued queries. The statement added that the inspector concerned has been defaulted and detained pending the outcome of the investigation. The command further affirmed that investigation has commenced in line with established rules, regulations and the law to determine the circumstances surrounding the incident and to ensure appropriate disciplinary action where necessary.
On the foreign scene, flooding caused by heavy rains in the Gamo area of southern Ethiopia has left at least 48 people dead. The South Ethiopia Regional State Police Commission on X today reported 95 persons missing, with rescue operations ongoing. It added that it was unclear whether this figure included the bodies already found. There has been heavy flooding across East Africa in recent days. Dozens were killed in neighboring Kenya after torrential rain hit the capital, Nairobi, and other areas on Friday. Multiple studies have tracked the increasing frequency of extreme wet and dry periods in East Africa in the last 20 years.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the top stories. The federal government has signed the hosting agreement for the 5th Intra-African Trade Fair 2027, with Lagos selected as the official host city for the continental event, aimed at boosting trade and investment across Africa.
The House of Representatives has asked the federal government to rescind its blanket invalidation of degree certificates obtained from the Republics of Benin and Togo.
Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde has described the current situation within the People's Democratic Party (PDP) as a difficult moment for both the party and Nigeria's democracy following the recent appeal court judgment on the party's leadership crisis.
And on the foreign scene, flooding caused by heavy rains in the Gamo area of southern Ethiopia has left at least 48 people dead.
That's all from Newscope Desk for now. It was packaged by Mary Adedapo and delivered by
Jamila Elegbede. Good evening.
Enido Shekoni. Thanks for listening, and do not forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 p.m. Good evening.
This Ramadan, Kivo Non-Dairy Creamer joins families across Nigeria in prayer, reflection and unity. From iftar to Soho, enrich every cup of tea, coffee, custard or pap with Kivo creamy goodness.
At sunset, as loved ones gather for iftar, make every moment richer, smoother and tastier with Kivo Non-Dairy Creamer.
Kivo Non-Dairy Creamer. Make this Ramadan a good time moment.
Kivo Creamer.
I am malaria, the king of malaria parasites. My mission is simple, to take over your body, to cause fever, chills, headache. But one thing stands in my way. Come on.
Effective relief from malaria. Coma on, malaria gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult doctor.
Quality when you fresh àríyá o, gbogbo ẹni fẹ́ ṣàjọ̀dún, àbẹ́ni fẹ́ ṣèpàdé o, gbogbo ẹni fẹ́ ṣènáwó, BCOS Event Grand, òun lè máa bò, BCOS Event Grand, òun òun ló kájọ ẹ̀ fún gbogbo ayẹyẹ èyí tẹ́yìn bá fẹ́ ṣe BCOS event grand ilé máa bọ̀ o. bóyá wá gbé mi débẹ̀ yóò ilé akéde bóyá wá gbé mi débẹ̀ yóò BCOS event grand. BCOS event grand ebi tilẹ̀ ti tẹ́jú àyè ìdọ́kọ̀ síbẹ̀ ìyẹn pọ̀já burata BCOS event grand ìyẹn nílé akéde oríta bá ṣọrun nílùú Ìbàdàn BCOS event grand ìyẹn máa bọ̀ o. ohun tá à ń sọ ni pé onírúurú ayẹyẹ tẹ́yìn bá fẹ́ ṣe ó ti wù kó fẹjú tó BCOS event grand òun ló kájú ẹ̀ òun ló káàtó ṣókùn àgbàlẹ̀ yìí fẹ́ ṣe ni tàbí ìgbéyàwó tàbí birthday tàbí open year crusade ó sì jẹ́ book launch ní tiyín ni ẹ máa bọ̀ ìyẹn sáti kàn sí wa ní yàrá kẹrin commercial department BCOS ilé akéde tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè sórí BCOS customer care line tololong 0915-870-3300 BCOS event grand ilé àríyá fáwọn tó mọ bó ṣe ń lọ.
98.5 FM. This is the place to be with the radio experience.
If you're looking for the best in news, sports and entertainment, we got everything you need and so much more, yeah.
98.5 FM. Oluyole. 98.5 FM.
Hear me now. Go down to the #1 station. Getting from quality information. Brighten up your day in so many ways. Tune to 98.5.
Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM. Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM. Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM. Oluyole. 98.5 FM. 98.5 FM.
Parents, listen to your children. We are the future generation.
Word of God says, the gift of a man will make room for him and make him stand before kings and not mere men. This is why the BCOS committee put together a Bible quiz competition for children between the ages of 6 to 9 and 10 to 15. Coming up on the 3rd and 4th April 2026, with just 2,000 naira, you can pick up a phone for your child to participate and stand a chance to win any of our amazing prizes. For more information and sponsorship, visit Room 2 BCOS Iliakede Ibadan or call 0915-8703-300. Please note that the purchase of forms closes by end of March 2026.